and welcome back to the She Shed. My name is Melissa and today's tutorial is going to be on my most favoritist garment that I make. It is my go-to. My customers absolutely love it. It is my super simple shawl. It is the easiest thing you will probably make, and it uses this absolutely beautiful yarn. It is my favorite yarn from Hobbii. It is called Winter Glow. It is a 51% wool and a 49% acrylic. It feels like pure wool. It is absolutely gorgeous, and the colors you can get. You would have seen the photos at the beginning of a couple of the throws. The colors are exquisite. The only problem is that the cost of this yarn has skyrocketed from about $18 to $32. So when I've used up these colors, that will be it for me, unless of course they drop their price. So it is an expensive yarn now, but man, it makes up the most beautiful shawl. It is so pretty. I can't if I do say so myself, but I think it's gorgeous. I mean, just look at those colors, and that's just one of several different colors that they have. Very pretty, works up beautifully. So this is a yarn that requires, they never come with a color, by the way, and this one is, they are 700 meter balls of yarn. So you can use any yarn to do this throw, but you're aiming, if you're going for a size of a 5mm hook, which is what we'll be using today, you will need about 1,400 meters of yarn. So you convert it for yards, because I don't know how many that would be. Yeah, so it says here you need a 5mm hook, and for the first time ever, yes, it is correct. You do need a 5mm hook. So what I will be using is my Furls 5mm hook, but I always start my garments with a hook size higher, because the chain won't be so tight and it'll make it nice and even at both ends. So I will be using my Furls 6mm hook. You also will need a yarn needle just to sew in the few ends you're going to have, and obviously a pair of scissors too. Alright, let's get this project started. Okay, so when you find the end, do a slip knot. Grab your larger hook, so my 6mm hook, and you will be chaining 130 stitches. Now that you have your 130 stitches, we need to change our hook to our 5mm. Just chain one, and then what we're going to do is go to the back of the stitch. So you'll see that there are the V's at the front. Turn it, and there is a lump at the back. So miss that first chain and go into that lump there at the back. Now what we're doing is half double crochets. So yarn over, go into that lump at the back, grab your yarn, pull it through, and grab your yarn and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, go into that lump, grab your yarn, pull it through, grab your yarn, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, go into that loop, grab your yarn, pull it through, grab your yarn and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. And repeat that in every stitch all the way to the end, and that will be completing your row 1. So I will meet you at the end of this row, and I'll see you when you get there. Coming to the end of the row, the last few stitches, so the last one can be a little tricky. It's just there. There we go, and there's our first row done. Next row, chain 1, turn your work, and continue, but make sure that your first stitch goes straight into that first stitch there. Don't skip a stitch or anything, just go straight into that first stitch, and that's how you get the really nice straight edge. And you're just continuing half double crocheting all the way along. Chain one, turn your work, do your first stitch in that first stitch. Don't ever skip that first stitch there, do it straight in. And when I get to the end of the row, I'm just going to show you a little trick so you can keep that edge straight. So continue on with row 2. I will meet you at the end and show you what my little trick is to do that straight edge. Alright, so we've come to the end of row 2, and you see I've got this last stitch just hanging out here, and we need to put a stitch into that last stitch. So what you need to do, yarn over, go into that stitch, make sure you've got 2 on the top and then there's 1 on the bottom. Grab your yarn, pull it through, grab your yarn, pull through the 3 on the hook. Chain 1, start your work. Turn your work and start. Always put your last stitch of the last row in the previous last stitch of the previous row, because that'll give you your gorgeous straight edge. And you won't need to do anything to it because it will be lovely and straight. So every row, make sure that you're putting your first stitch into that first stitch there. Don't skip it or anything like that. A lot of people will say skip it. Don't skip it. You'll have weird work. And then just continue until you get to that last stitch, and then when you get to that last stitch, put your stitch, so there's my last stitch there, and you grab a hook and you will be putting your last stitch. See how there's 2 there, and then you've got 1 there. You slip through like so and put your stitch into there, and I guarantee it's going to make a beautiful straight edge, and there's no need to do any decorative edging on it. If you want to, go for it, but yeah, it leaves it lovely and straight. So all you need to do now, and this is why it is the simplest shawl you're ever going to make, is literally keep doing your half double crochets until you've finished your 2 balls of this gorgeous yarn, and you are done. Periodically, just keep checking that you've got your 130 stitches so you haven't dropped one or gained one somewhere. And other than that, that is your shawl, and that is how you make it. It is super simple. There is one last thing I want to show you, and let me just grab it and show you how you keep your shawl together. So here is a finished shawl, different color, but I love how this yarn comes out, just all these different colors. It's so pretty, and it just feels so good. So how do you keep it together? Well, you can use shawl pins. Now, shawl pins come in a myriad of different styles. You can get some from China, you can get some from Amazon, wherever. This one here is a tiny one, and I got it from China, so it's really cheap. Yeah, not very well made, but you know, it does its job, and very pretty. I've got some from Amazon before, but we now make our own. So this is one that we make, Celtic design. I've got others that are all different patterns, and we make our little pins as well, so we can do a metal one as well as this wooden one. And it's really easy how it works. So you get your shawl and you wrap it around yourself. So pretend I've wrapped it around. So there's the 2 ends, and you put your ring over the 2 ends. You stick your pin in one way, stick your pin in back the other way. Remember, it's straight through the circle, and there we go. It can't come apart. And it's got that Celtic look, you know, that show Outlander, or all the Vikings and that. That's the kind of shawl pin that they do. So if you are interested in these and all the different designs that we do have, check out our website, www.luckyplatypus.com.au. Yeah, and that is how I do my shawl, and I think it works out beautifully, and it's so cozy warm. You don't have to wear it as a shawl. You can also wear yours as a scarf or a lap rug. Many different ways. It's just a gigantic triangle which you can throw around yourself. Alright guys, that brings me the end of this tutorial. Please check out my playlist and see everything else that I have there. I've got loads and loads. Check out my Instagram page at lucky_platypus1, my Facebook page at Lucky Platypus, my website at www.luckyplatypus.com.au, and hopefully I see you here again at my next tutorial. And until then, take care everybody.